You stand before the dryer, its warm metal door hanging open like the gates of paradise. The buzzer has sounded, signaling the completion of your laundry. A mundane victory, yes, but a victory nonetheless. You reach in and pull out the first item, a fitted sheet. Fresh, warm. Still slightly damp in that one corner because your dryer has trust issues. But you're not worried, not even a little bit. You've folded countless things in your life. T-shirts, towels, that weird flat sheet that came with this very bed set. You're a functional adult with opposable thumbs and at least a passing understanding of geometry. How hard could this possibly be? You give the sheet a confident shake, watching it unfurl in all its elasticated glory. The corners dangle like limp tentacles, but you don't see them as a warning. No, you see them as a challenge, a simple, easily conquerable challenge. You've watched your grandmother do this 1,000 times. She made it look like a casual magic trick, her hands moving with the wisdom of someone who lived through actual hardships, like the Great Depression and dial-up internet. Surely you inherited at least a fraction of her domestic competence. You lay the sheet on your bed, smoothing it out with the calm assurance of someone who has no idea what's coming. Today, you tell yourself, today is the day you finally master this. Today, you will fold this fitted sheet into a perfect rectangle, place it in your linen closet, and feel like the kind of person who has their life together. Your confidence is adorable, and it is about to be brutally murdered. You grab two adjacent corners, the fabric bunching in your hands. The elastic edge immediately twists, creating a sort of fabric Mobius strip that shouldn't be possible in our dimension. No problem. You shake it out. Try again. You attempt to tuck one corner into another, the way you vaguely remember seeing someone do it on a YouTube video you half-watched while eating cereal 3 years ago. The corner goes in. Sort of. It's not quite right, but it's in there. Kind of. You step back to admire your work. The sheet now looks less like a sheet and more like a fabric crime scene, asymmetrical, lumpy, with one corner sticking out at a 45-degree angle like a broken wing. That's fine, you say out loud to your empty room, because talking to yourself is the first sign of a healthy mental state. Nobody's going to see this anyway. It's going in a closet. You attempt the next corner. This one doesn't want to cooperate either. The elastic is fighting you now, actively resisting your efforts like it has a personal vendetta. You wrestle with it, your fingers getting tangled in the fabric. For a brief moment, you wonder if the sheet is winning. No, that's ridiculous. You're a human being. You're at the top of the food chain. You have conquered fire, invented the internet, and put a car in space. You can absolutely fold a piece of fabric. You force the corner into submission, shoving it roughly into what you hope is the right position. The sheet now has a shape that can only be described as vaguely quadrilateral. You choose to call this progress. You hold up your creation, and it immediately unfolds itself like a slow-motion avalanche of mockery. The corners you so carefully tucked have escaped, flopping freely as if to say, "Nice try, amateur." Your eye twitches. Okay. You were doing it wrong. You can see that now. You need to start over. You need a system, a method. You're a logical person. You can figure this out. You Google how to fold a fitted sheet on your phone, which is already at 3% battery because, of course, it is. You find a video with 4.2 million views titled "Easy Fitted Sheet Folding," with a thumbnail of a smiling woman holding a perfectly folded sheet. You hate her immediately. You watch the video. She's talking about finding the seams and matching the corners and something about turning it inside out. Or outside in. The video is 2 minutes long, but you've somehow been watching for 7 minutes and you're more confused than when you started. "Just fold it like this," she chirps, her hands moving at the speed of light through a sequence of moves that would require a PhD in textile origami. You pause the video, rewind, watch again. Her hands blur together like she's performing a card trick. You're pretty sure at one point she breaks the laws of physics. You try to copy her movements. You turn the sheet inside out. No, wait, outside in. You match corner to corner, seam to seam, following the instructions with the desperate focus of someone defusing a bomb. The result looks like you've somehow created more corners than you started with. The sheet now has the structural integrity of a jellyfish and the aesthetic appeal of a crumpled tissue. You're beginning to suspect that fitted sheets exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Your jaw clenches. Your breathing becomes shallow. A small vein throbs in your temple. You grab the sheet with both hands and shake it violently, as if aggression might somehow intimidate the fabric into compliance. It does not work. If anything, the sheet seems to have gained more wrinkles. "What do you want from me?" You scream at the inanimate object because you have officially lost it. You try again, your movements now sharp and angry. You grab a corner, shove it into another corner. The elastic snaps back, slapping your wrist like a rubbery punishment for your hubris. That's it. That's the final straw. You throw the sheet on the ground and stomp on it like you're putting out a fire. Take that, you smug piece of fabric. You bend down, grab it, and try one more time to fold it. Your hands moving with the frantic energy of someone who has been personally victimized by betting. The corner slips out of your grip. Again, and again, and again. You consider your options. Set it on fire, throw it out the window, donate it to someone you don't like. All of these seem reasonable. Instead, you ball your fists and release a primal scream that startles your neighbor's dog 3 apartments away. You sit down on the floor, the sheet draped across your lap like a white flag of surrender. Your shoulders slump. Your eyes stare at nothing. Is this what your life has become? Defeated by a piece of fabric with elastic edges? You went to school. You have a job. You pay taxes. You can parallel park. And yet, here you are, broken by a household item that exists solely to cover a mattress. You think about your grandmother again, her nimble hands folding fitted sheets with the ease of someone shuffling cards. What would she think of you now? Sitting on the floor on the verge of tears because you can't perform a basic domestic task? You wonder if this is a metaphor for your entire life. Never quite getting things to fit properly. Always ending up with wrinkles and weird lumps no matter how hard you try. Maybe you're not cut out for adulthood. Maybe you should just sleep on a bare mattress like some kind of feral person who's given up on society. Fitted sheets are a conspiracy anyway, probably invented by Big Linen to make people feel inadequate. You look at the crumpled fabric in your lap. It looks back at you, mocking you with its impossible geometry. For a long moment, you consider just staying here on the floor forever. But then something shifts. A dark resolve settles over you. You're going to finish this. Not because you want to, not because you can do it correctly, but because you refuse to let a fitted sheet win. You stand up. Your eyes are cold now, dead inside, but functional. You spread the sheet out one final time, but you're not trying to understand it anymore. You're not following any tutorials or remembering any grandmotherly wisdom. You're going pure instinct, pure survival mode. You grab 2 corners, shove them together. Don't care if they're the right corners. Just shove. You fold the sheet in half. It's lumpy, uneven. Has a weird pocket of air trapped in the middle. You don't care. You fold it again and again. You're not creating a rectangle. You're creating a compact mass, a fabric brick. You're less folding and more just compressing, aggressively squishing the sheet into a shape that will fit in your closet. At one point, you literally sit on it to flatten it down. Is this how it's supposed to be done? Absolutely not. Does it matter anymore? Also, absolutely not. You hold up your finished product. It's roughly rectangular, in the way that a potato is roughly spherical. One corner sticks out. The middle bulges oddly. If you unfold it, you're pretty sure you'll find a portal to another dimension in there somewhere. But it's done. Technically. You walk to your linen closet and shove it onto the shelf, quickly closing the door before it can expand and escape. You stand there for a moment, breathing heavily, your hair slightly disheveled, your will to live at maybe 60% capacity. You didn't fold a fitted sheet today. Let's be honest about that. What you did was engage in a violent negotiation with fabric, and you both lost. That sheet is folded the way a car crash is parked. But it's in the closet, and the closet is closed. And you never have to think about it again until next week when you wash your sheets and this entire nightmare begins anew. You walk away, forever changed. A little more cynical, a little more defeated, a little more aware that some battles aren't meant to be won. They're just meant to be survived. And somewhere in your linen closet, that fitted sheet sits in its lumpy, chaotic form, Waiting. Always waiting. Here's a sneak peek at the next video. You've done it. You've achieved the perfect amount of social interaction for one evening. You've laughed at the right jokes, nodded thoughtfully at boring stories, and consumed exactly 2.5 drinks, enough to seem fun, not enough to make tomorrow a war crime. Thanks for watching. See you next time.